We're wrapping up 2025 here, people, and it's now chapter 7. I'm going to be watching some Timmy FMBR, I think. Is that his name? No, sorry, wrong person. Top 5 Gaming. Sorry, but yeah, no, we're really close. Chapter 7 is out. I've played a few games. It's really fun. But yeah, no, let's get into some of the
Fortnite
news.
Chapter 7 has been leaked, and there are so many updates that'll change the game, so today I'll break down why I think it's in trouble. For starters, we already know what the first 3 seasons are gonna be. Fortnite is bringing a totally original theme for December with a gala style, which could feel totally fresh or a sign of danger to come. So why is that? Well, there's a leaked crossover who will likely make his debut during season 1, and that's James Bond. Now this could be a good thing, as the #1 problem we have with Fortnite these days is that the collabs have been awkwardly shoved into the seasons. Epic were really good at this back in chapter 5, but this year it's kind of been all over the place, with Superman and Robin fitting their themes, but Power Rangers and One Punch Man being a part of a bug invasion. Another thing we're wondering is, will chapter 7 solve the problem of this year's themes being very disliked and unoriginal? Like, Shock and Awesome was criticized heavily for feeling like a Helldivers ripoff, and even the original devs called it a Helldivers at home. Then fans also disliked the Lawless season for being yet another heist-related theme, something Fortnite's done plenty of times before, like especially when Midas came back for the 1000th time. While Season 1 being a gala does give us hope that Chapter 7 will fix that problem, we've also learned that Season 2 will be themed around Norse mythology. This is pretty bad, considering we already had a Legend season around Greek mythology, and who knows if fans will find yet another battle pass full of myths and mortals refreshing enough. I will say, it is Norse gods, so we'll have to wait and see what they drop. Then Fortnite's going to continue with their mid-chapter mini-seasons with yet another Marvel theme. This time, it's rumored that we're getting a Symbiote and Null season, which is already giving fans flashback of the failed Star Wars experiment in Chapter 6. Think about it, a ton of people agree that this moment was the exact start of Fortnite's decline in 2025, with so many players leaving because of the season's loot pool, not to mention the players who don't like Star Wars having nowhere to go. Pairing this with the other issue of Chapter 6's unoriginal themes, it makes a third Marvel season next year a chilling thought, although there is still hope for Chapter 7 and storyline fans. Because luckily, leakers have revealed that the upcoming live event scheduled for this November won't actually be related to the Simpsons season. Yes, it is taking place during it, but according to insiders, it'll be a full end of chapter story event, which is our first since
really
Fracture.
Cool.
A major problem of the last few years has been finales being totally random, like the remix finale or the Big Bang event, and up until now we assumed that chapter 6 would do another collab around the Simpsons. Well, it looks like Fortnite's actually taking our feedback on board, which could be a great sign for the future of chapter 7, especially now that we've also learned that the Dark Presence villain, who's been lurking in the shadows for years at this point and was teased during the superhero season, he'll continue to be an overarching villain next chapter. So many of us were worried it would be a crossover like with Doctor Doom, but insiders have confirmed that it's referred to as the Demon Lord and might be the Asmodeus whose voice we've heard in the portal. Obviously, it's not just a storyline that has needed improvement over these years. Chapter 6 has been lacking something. Like, ever since Epic decided to give us only one gigantic live event per year, they've always scheduled it for late November. But we've always wondered if they would bring back concerts. Last time when we wanted a concert, we had to wait until the remix finale, which was our only big live event of the year, and the same happened in the Big Bang event with the Eminem cameo. It made it feel less special, and our hopes were raised just this week when Daft Punk were announced with their very own experience. So what's going on with that? Well, it's not what we expected, as it's going to be an entirely separate mode that Fortnite themselves had to clarify was not a concert. It's been a long time since we actually had a dedicated live event to a single artist, and with the memories of Travis Scott and Ariana Grande still in the back of our minds, we've been hoping that Chapter 7 would deliver. Well, insiders have confirmed that concerts are officially returning next year, with XXXTentacion getting his own skin and maybe even a live event. This news has given fans a ton of hope that maybe Fortnite are going back to what made them popular in the first place. But maybe they're also verging further away from Battle Royale. We've all noticed this in Chapter 6. It has been one of the biggest reasons why Fortnite is at one of its lowest points ever. Fans are upset with Epic focusing more on creative and making Battle Royale feel like just one of the many modes available instead of the main game. After all, the biggest updates of the year have all included adding a brand new mode, and while this sounds like a problem, it's turned out to be a huge success. Recently, Epic introduced Delulu, which is doing pretty well with people making new friends, having to betray others, and making games feel different every time. But sadly, this is a weekend-only mode, which means if you love it, you can't even play your favorite Fortnite mode for 5 days of the week. We also had the reveal of Blitz, which was originally meant to be a limited time thing, but was so popular that it quickly became a staple in Epic's lineup. So, with the success of these two modes and the downfall of other things like Ballistic, Rocket Racing, and Lego, it's proven one thing: fans still care about BR. After all, the reason we all downloaded Fortnite in the first place was to play Battle Royale, not because we wanted to race around in Rocket League cars or play a Valorant knockoff. Sure, those are fun, but it's not the core reason why the game was loved. With the introduction of Blitz, Reload, and Delulu over the years, it proves that Epic can see the demand for fresh BR gameplay instead of a random crossover becoming its own thing. They were forced to make Festival and Rocket Racing cosmetics work with BR because otherwise, sales would suck, and it gave us hope that this would be the future. Except for Chapter 7, insiders have revealed that the two main modes will actually be crossovers. So what is coming out? Well, we've known about the Disney metaverse for a while now, and as we get closer than ever, leakers claim it'll be similar to Disney Infinity, which feels like it's gonna be straying even further from BR. Did you know there's also a separate Star Wars bounty hunting mode in the works, probably to promote the Mandalorian movie that drops next year? Not only that, but Warner Bros. Are getting their very own thing too, that'll bring an insane amount of collabs to Fortnite. Although as we've seen,
was a bad time to pause. Fortnite has collabed with everyone, literally everyone. I don't know what to do. Fortnite has literally collabed with everyone. Sorry, I just hit my mic there. But yeah, no, it's brilliant. I feel like the collab, when they get a good collab, it's brilliant. It just brings the game back. I think they need to focus more on Battle Royale though, but this season they did cook. Honestly, they cooked. They cooked. It feels like Chapter 5. And we don't know how Chapter 5 was. That was like 2 years ago, no?
With Scooby-Doo, Ninja Turtles, and DC, it looks like they're more open to their characters being a part of the core game. If we're talking about the existing modes of Chapter 6 though, Fortnite isn't abandoning them anytime soon. Fortnite OG has been getting better every season, and it's giving us a ton of hope for what it'll be like next year. But it's left fans wondering, once Season X is over, what happens next? Well, this is where we've learned that OG will be moving into Chapter 2, which sounds great until you realize that it basically means we're getting the Midas season yet again next year. This already happened with Remix, so I wonder how Fortnite's gonna solve that one. And it's not just OG, we've also got huge changes coming to Rocket Racing, which should finally mean the mode is no longer abandoned. Apparently,
the drone age has begun in the large-scale military online action game War Thunder.
War Thunder.
Take out reconnaissance.
Apparently, Epic is working to not only overhaul racing, but bring Rocket League into Fortnite so you can play it and advance the past without switching games. And yeah, they're also doing the same thing for Fall Guys. As for Festival, Chapter 7 will see the deletion of Party Royale, as Epic looks to fuse it with the Jam Stage and combine the player counts of both modes. And over in Lego, huge updates are planned for the return of Caretakers and the Devourer, which will result in some kind of Lego mech fight mode dropping next year. So while all of this sounds great, Fortnite Chapter 7 is in trouble for one major reason, and it all stems with the topic that's been the scariest part of the game's future for the last year. The rise of creative maps has showcased that Epic is slowly transforming Fortnite into a Roblox competitor, and because of that, half the community feels like they don't know where to go. Especially with the news that Chapter 7 is going to make these worries even worse. Because recently at Unreal Fest Stockholm, Epic revealed that microtransactions are officially coming this December with the launch of the new chapter. This has made a lot of people terrified about the future of the game. Does this mean that games like Steal the Brainrot are going to be more than playtime farms, but instead money farms? One of the biggest criticisms about Roblox is that most of the games have all the best content locked behind paywalls, and now that could be happening to Fortnite. It is very scary. But there is also benefits to this. Think about some of your favorite maps that may not have a big player base, but you want to support them and keep them going. It's a great way to reward high quality maps too that might not get as many players, so it is a double-edged sword. Something that everyone agrees might be a huge problem for Chapter 7 is that soon people will be able to buy ads in Discovery. Yeah, what feels like a way for the richest creators to get richer, Fortnite will soon be letting them pay for higher map placements. It is 10 times more controversial than microtransactions, and it's made all small creators terrified of the future. So with Chapter 6 exposing some of the huge problems with UEFN as it is, could Chapter 7 make things worse? Well, only time will tell, but there have been a lot of issues with the current chapter that fans are praying Epic will fix in time for next year. If they aren't, then this is gonna get even worse. One of those problems that fans keep having this year has been Fortnite overusing NPCs to try and make the game feel interesting. Right now, players are getting tired of the same ARs, the same metas, and anything that gets added simply becomes overpowered, with it being removed days later. So instead, Epic has been relying on NPC gimmicks to make things interesting, which has turned out to be disliked by fans. Whether it's throwing AI Darth Vader at us, populating the map with 1 HP bugs, or bringing back the same bosses to give us something to fight, we want features that'll change the strategy rather than get in the way of actual gameplay. And luckily, Chapter 7 might be solving this, as Epic are working on some kind of mechanic that'll let you play as the bosses. It sounds pretty amazing. Yeah. Imagine going to get your usual mythic every game, but instead of having to face the same NPC boss,
I was playing a game, playing a Fortnite match, and I had like 5 kills, because this was just the start of the match. I had the sword, and I used it to get to the boss. And what's so annoying is you don't even get like free, because there's an animation. You don't even get a free shield in the animation, because I just got sprayed and I died because I couldn't do anything about it because I was in the animation. So Fortnite, I think they should make it so that you get a damage shield whilst you're in the animation, because it's just really annoying.
It could turn out to be a player instead. It would make these gimmick bosses feel 10 times more engaging, and it might be a great sign that Epic's listening. But as we get closer to the next chapter, Epic also has to think about how it has totally messed up medallions this year. They've been struggling with this experiment for a long time. After reality augments failed, they decided to go all in on medallions, except these have also been full of problems. By definition, they're a struggle because if you don't land straight on a boss to get one, you're at a disadvantage, especially recently with how overpowered these were in the bug season. So due to them being so strong, Epic just decided to delete all of them from the game with no replacements, meaning a huge part of the season's gameplay was just gone. If Chapter 7 wants to fix this, they need to either get rid of medallions entirely and come up with a new mechanic, or Epic needs to focus on giving us other ways to earn them so there's not just one per match. You could argue that they could lean on boons more. These have been way more successful in terms of letting everyone get an advantage, but Epic has focused so much on medallions instead in Chapter 6 that boons have been straight up boring in comparison. One idea is how they could add a way to re-roll your boon, like augments used to be. It'd also give players another use for gold, which is really lackluster right now.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it, just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44, a complete AI creation platform.
There have also been suggestions of making changes to how quick matches are in BR. The reason Blitz became so popular in the first place is because lately fans have been getting tired of the huge maps and long time between seeing enemies. Each chapter, Epic has been changing the size of the island, but leaving us with the same 100 players to fight, which makes the game feel slow. Blitz really solved this problem, and hopefully it opens Epic's eyes as to what to change in the next chapter. Maybe they could adjust the storm to be more aggressive, so it brings back that 2018 feeling of having to always think about your next movement. Now, the same reason the medallions have been a problem for Chapter 6 is also why single-person mythic powers needs to stop. Fortnite's been relying too much on making collabs feel extra special with the same gimmick. Whether it's letting us play as Ultra Doom, Superman, or lately Megazord, these have either been controversial or underwhelming every single time. For example, Ultra Doom was so hard to get your hands on that they had to buff it just so players could enjoy the update, whereas Superman was underpowered and needed constant updates to satisfy players. Then Epic just caved and gave him 100% spawn rate for one day before he was vaulted. The spawn rate was such such a huge
Doom was
problem
fun.
as it didn't make sense to have an item only one person could get when it didn't even appear in most games. So with Megazord, they gave it a 100% drop rate from day one, and this could be a great solution in the future if Epic keeps adding stuff like this. I just think that Chapter 7 should focus more on making collabs special in other ways, maybe adding more than just a single item in the loot pool. Think about it, back in the day they would do things like transform Tilted into Gotham City, or introduce special POIs like the John Wick Continental where you couldn't shoot each other. Meaningful and huge collab changes that felt organic, rather than a limited time item only one person could use per game. By far, the largest fight Fortnite has been facing.
When that, I don't know why, but that reminded me of like where Fortnite changed that into tilted into Gotham City and the John Wick thing. That reminded me of the Taco Time days. Oh, those were fun. I remember watching a Mongol clip of him, and he was just every time he it was taco time, I think he would just scream, "It's taco time!" It was just so funny, and I want to see something like that because that was fun. It was genuinely fun, and with the, I know this was a few minutes ago in the video, but with the Marvel mini season, they always cook with those. They never cook with the Star Wars ones, but the Marvel ones is where it's at. That's the one that's where it's at.
For the past 3 years is bots. This has always been a problem, but in Chapter 6, it's been worse than ever, with modes like OG having up to 95% bot lobbies. Fans have had enough. Clearly, Epic doesn't want to just delete them entirely, as they've always been struggling to keep new players enjoying the game. After all, Fortnite cares more about bringing noobs into the ecosystem than pleasing the sweats, and that's always been the case. Except now, it's way more than just pro players leaving because of bots. The entire community is getting tired of winning games and feeling empty about it. There's no sense of achievement anymore, and yet when Fortnite came up with solutions like introducing OG Expert, it split the player base even further and then got removed. So it would be easy to say that if Chapter 7 doesn't solve the bot issue, it'll be in trouble. But in reality, the fans are to blame just as much as Epic. We can't just rely on Fortnite to give us what we want and then still not play the game. If fans truly want Chapter 7 to be successful, they have to show enthusiasm. I will say, it'll be hard to support Fortnite and play it all the time if it's just a reskin version of this year. So hopefully Epic has been taking notes and make sure that Chapter 7 isn't in trouble. It's been Tommy, keep it here on Top 5 Gaming.
Pretty good. Top 5 Gaming. I feel like he's one of the best. He's one of the best sort of Fortnite people ever. But yeah, no, that was the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe. This was it's because it's Chapter 7 wrapping up 2025. Want to see what people were saying about it. If you still play Fortnite and you're enjoying it, say some things in the comments. Say why you enjoy it. I mean, Chapter 7, they cooked. They really cooked. They really did. But yeah, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, do all that stuff, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.